Namaskar, welcome to Inside Tonight show. We are recording this show on the day when India has witnessed a historical event, swearing in ceremony of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Once again, much awaited moment by millions of people, and this, as newspapers are reporting, as Modi 2.A, and people were ecstatic, delighted, full of joy when they heard "Main Narendra Damodar Das Modi." The voice of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has resonated with the hearts of millions of Indians, as well as Indians who are residing away but are rooted and invested in India intensely. And today, to mark this special day of swearing in of Prime Minister as well as his cabinet ministers, I have the distinct pleasure and honor of welcoming someone who for us is an extension of Government of India, and currently he is acting Consul General, Deputy Consul General Shatrughna Sinha ji joins me today in the studio. Namaste. स्वागत है आपका. Sinha sahab, when you were witnessing this ceremony, and of course we have all closely watched this election cycle, what was the feeling as a foreign service officer representing India? What does it mean for you when you see a government that is coming, has come with clear mandate?
You rightly asked what was the feeling during this whole election process. We are extremely proud of our democracy, and representing India abroad, representing this great democracy comes with a sense of pride. Sometimes because of the fact that democracy has taken deep roots in India, we take it for granted. But in fact, I feel that this is a very valued and cherished thing for us. Democracy, we Indians love their democracy and the democratic process, so we feel very happy about this. And India, despite being only 70 years old as a nation state after the colonial regime of the British left India, democracy has taken such deep roots, and the fact that everyone feels that there is a stake in the system, that makes us very proud.
And we are also happy to witness this ceremony all the way away, as they say, across 7 seas from India. But technology makes it possible for us to almost feel the pulse of the nation, as well as relate to the intense emotional wave of the moment. Connecting with that from the point of view of this ceremony, Sinha, we also came across many people who are not in the news, but they were invited, and this was a group of 8,000 people. So starting from the participation of common men in India's democracy, referring to swearing in ceremony, as well as the way they cast their vote, how that makes you feel?
This 8,000 people were invited from the cross section of the Indian population, from different provinces, from different backgrounds, and of course there were a lot of dignitaries, but there were so many common people, people from different walks of life, who were invited today. And this has reflected generally in the working of the government. If you see, for example, the Padma Awards. Padma Awards are being given to people who are working at the grassroots, whom probably will not find in TV studios or in newspapers, but their contribution is being recognized. Similarly, today during the swearing in ceremony, these 8,000 people represented the real India. That is what I would put.
And also, sometimes who is present makes the news, and sometimes who is not present also makes the news. So I won't ask Sinha Sahab to comment on the absence of Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, who first said she's going to be there and later on she changed her decision. I am but interested in requesting you to share how not inviting Pakistani head of the state tells something about the potential foreign policy of India.
There are two things to it. One, Government of India focuses on neighborhood first, and that is being reflected in the invitation list this year as well. Heads of state, heads of governments of BIMSTEC countries have been invited. President of Kyrgyz Republic has been invited, which is also a part of our extended neighborhood. Also the President of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Similarly, President of Mauritius has been invited. So the focus has been, of course, on the neighborhood countries, and neighborhood first remains our policy objective and goal. Regarding Pakistan specifically, you asked. Pakistan, of course, was a part of SAARC last time, and all the SAARC heads of governments had been invited last time in 2014. So I think Pakistan is not a part of BIMSTEC, so that angle doesn't come in here. On the other hand, your general question would be regarding talks against Pakistan. I mean, talks with Pakistan. My view is, and I think that is the government's view as well, we have made numerous efforts at engaging with Pakistan, at having a peaceful bilateral relationship with Pakistan, but unfortunately that has not been reciprocated. If you just see the period from 2014 till the elections, we have had numerous terrorist attacks, despite the fact that Prime Minister Modi himself visited Lahore on his own personal initiative. EAM visited Islamabad, and there were assurances from Pakistani side. But however, you have also seen attacks like the latest attack in Pulwama, but before that there have been attacks in Uri, in Pathankot, and several others. So all these factors are considered when you take such a decision, and I think Government of India is ready to engage with Pakistan. That is what Prime Minister Modi also conveyed to Prime Minister Imran Khan during their phone conversation. We need to fight against poverty. But before having a cooperative, peaceful bilateral relationship, this atmosphere of terrorism should be eliminated, and for that Pakistan has to take concrete actions. So unless Pakistan moves on that front, India will have to wait and watch.
India will have to wait and watch, but many of the decisions or the reflexes of Prime Minister Modi or Modi government sets a sort of approval kind of atmosphere among people. They kind of see the logic where this decision is coming from, and I take this opportunity of sharing few things about the gentleman sitting with me, someone who we are proud of as he represents India in different parts of the world. But the way he started off, he did his engineering, so electrical engineering background, and then having served in some of the important organizations like NTPC, Infosys, and then he moved on to IFS, and with this background, some of the countries where he has served include Germany as well as Pakistan. So with that, I connect with you again, taking you to Pakistan. If you share some of the impressions that you formed during your tenure at Pakistan.
Well, we serve as diplomats. We represent Government of India while serving in Islamabad. Islamabad is a beautiful city. It is a well laid out planned city. Life is comfortable, but of course Pakistan has had serious security challenges over the years, and security remains a concern even in Islamabad. There are constraints on movements, but overall I would say that my stay was enjoyable, and it was professionally challenging as well as satisfying.
So, professionally challenging and satisfying, when you hear those words again, you are reminded that you are talking to a diplomat. Diplomat. And diplomacy, for a layman, it means that you don't say directly. Is that right impression for the diplomats?
Well, to become successful in diplomacy, first of all, you need to get trust. Unless you speak the truth, you will not be able to get trust of anyone. That is a primary requirement. So, unlike the impression which is there everywhere, that diplomats are paid to lie.
That's not what I said.
We represent the governments. We represent our government's point of view, and we do it to the best of our abilities. Our effort is always to also deliver messages in a form which is acceptable, which is polite, but we may convey some things which when we need to, also in a firm manner.
Yeah,
that is my sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I appreciate what you said, and you have seen a transition in your career from engineering and working with private organization in a different capacity to this role, and we have also seen some of the well-known IFS officers moving towards politics, and in this particular cabinet, fortunately, I say fortunately because I think IFS means a certain amount of intelligence and ability to comprehend the arguments a little bit more than the others. So, talk to me a little bit about when you heard about the induction in this swearing-in ceremony, Subramaniam Jayashankarji, and then of course.
It is an extremely proud day for the IFS fraternity. We have not one but two members of our fraternity in the Council of Ministers, and I am very happy that Mr. Jayashankar, who was till recently Foreign Secretary, will be inducted in the cabinet, and Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, who was also a minister in the last Council of Ministers, will continue in this as well. We are very happy and proud of this fact, and I am sure they will give their best in the service of the country.
And somehow, as I talk to you here in New York, we have an additional joy because Hardeep Puri ji was also here in New York, and he was here in the United Nations.
He was the permanent representative in the permanent mission of India to the UN. Yes.
And S. Jayashankar ji was also stationed here in Washington.
Mr. Jayashankar was our ambassador to the United States. He was also our ambassador earlier to China. Earlier he has served as ambassador to Czech Republic as well.
And we were talking about Indian democracy, we were talking about participation of common men, and it is very rare. I mean, if I try to dig deep, I wouldn't come across someone like Pratap Ji Sarang, who you see riding cycle or taking water from the well and then having a shower. And he has successfully defeated someone who had much more money to spend. So there is something different in India now where people are probably piercing through the layers and connecting with the truth of the heart with which the candidate is proposing his candidature.
I think these elections are celebration of our democracy. The massive participation, that shows how deeply people value this democratic process. Out of 900 million electorate, we had almost 70% participation. That is better than many of the mature democracies as well. It was such a massive exercise, more than 1 million EVMs used, and people, officials from the government going to remotest of the places to give a person his own democratic right. That is fantastic. Our Prime Minister is having the largest popular mandate anywhere in the world. No one else has enjoyed this mandate till now. So I feel that people like Pratap Chandra Sarangi becoming a minister shows that Indian democracy has the ability to bring out, to showcase talents which are hidden, and but people recognize those talents. So we have had this tradition of people coming from all walks of life into public life and in politics, and getting important responsibilities, and generally they have succeeded. So probably the swearing in ceremony was a culmination of that celebration of democracy.
So in this election, if you, as you mentioned about the largest mandate, if you count the number of people who has voted for Prime Minister Modi, compare that with any leader anywhere in the world, democratically elected leader with this kind of support, and I don't have exact figure right now with me, but I know this is the large number than anywhere else in the world. So does that also give some additional strength to India when we look at the global affairs and India being represented at different international forums? Do you see this time people have expressed their faith and trust in the same leader again? So how that is likely to play out for India's foreign policy?
One thing I would like to submit is generally the foreign policy has some continuity. So there are no drastic changes, and we maintain a certain degree of continuity even with the change of governments. However, this is the same party coming to power again, and with a renewed mandate. Good thing is this is a strong and stable government. So naturally that reflects also in the foreign policy as well as in the domestic policy. I think India's stature has grown in the world, and we are on a much stronger footing. We deal with other countries and negotiate with them with much more confidence than in previous years. It is also a function of your own economic status. There has been the economic growth in the country has been phenomenal. We are the fastest growing economy in the world, large economy in the world. We are on the way to become the third largest economy in the world by 2030. We are growing at 7.5%. So ultimately, all this comes together, and that reflects in the confidence. Yes.
So, Sinha, with you, let me recollect for our viewers that though we have Modi 2.0, as we say, and of course we have Prime Minister Narendra Modi again leading the nation, but it is not the same parliament. There were nearly 130 new candidates which were representing Bharatiya Janata Party, and out of that 100 have been selected, which includes some of the very well-known names like Sunny Deol or Harbans Raj, Hans, this Vivek Surya, Tejasvi Surya, and many more. So there is going to be a different energy and different synergy in the parliament, and which I think would work well for the sense of newness or the kind of dynamism which Prime Minister Narendra Modi has proposed. Having said that, looking at some of the programs which he initiated in his first tenure, which includes Make in India or Digital India, and of course cleanliness, Ayushman Bharat, etc., I feel many of these would continue with additional force. So my question to you is not as a diplomat but as someone who loves India. out of all these programs that you came to know and you are aware of, anything in particular which you felt excited about more than others? Of course, you are excited about everything, but
This is a very personal thing, but we all always discuss this. I think one of the several initiatives which the previous government took was the building of toilets, and that has really been a grand success. With crores and crores of toilets being built, it has really transformed society in a way which probably other initiatives have not had that much immediate impact to see. But apart from the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, there are several other things which we are excited about. Of course, as a diplomat, my job is to attract investments in the country and to encourage people for Make in India. So I would always focus on that, and hopefully we will have more investments from the US in the next 5 years, so that the Make in India can be even a bigger success.
And I believe another exciting feature in this context was that India moved up on the scale of ease of doing business.
Yes, there has been a great jump, this quantum jump. I doubt that any other country has really done it in such a short period of time. 3 years back, our ranking was 142 in the World Bank Ease of Doing Business rankings. Today, we are at 65. So almost 77 positions we have jumped. So I think we are aiming to get in the top 50 within the next couple of years, and I'm sure we will do that. The focus of the government has been reforms. If you see major reforms like GST, which connected the whole country in a single tax network, the insolvency and bankruptcy code, these are all the formalization of the economy. These are all big successes which have happened, and that has really brought down the difficulties which businessmen faced. Moreover, apart from these big reforms, even small things like getting construction permits or getting electricity connections, all these things have, or environmental clearances, many of these things have become online. They have come on online portals, and that has improved transparency, efficiency and speed. So all these things have improved our ease of doing business rankings, and the focus of the government is on ease of doing business. So I see further forward movement on this.
So moving forward, I'm reminded of the phrases used by Prime Minister Modi. He said, no more red tape, it is red carpet for foreign investors. And you have interacted with many of these potential investors, and you have also worked with many chief ministers when they come here and they mingle with investors. If you share feedback that you have heard from people who are either doing business in India or are willing to invest in any sector, what are their major concerns, if there is any, that you have heard from them? And allow me to add part 2 of this question. If there is a process whereby you can share your feedback with Government of India, I believe there must be something.
We interact definitely with a lot of investors, and New York, being the financial capital of the world in a way, has a lot of investors, investment funds. We keep interacting with them, and we try to assist them, to help them in facilitating their investment decisions and in encouraging them to invest in India. Of course, there are sometimes they express their concerns, and we have senior officials who keep coming to New York, and we organize all those interactions so that direct interaction with the investors also takes place. I think generally the investor sentiment is that they need policy stability, and with the same government coming in focused on reforms, I think the business community is quite excited about it. You already saw the huge jump in the National Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, after the election results. So I think generally the business investor community is confident and is ready to invest more in India. We at the consulate are happy to assist and facilitate those investments. Of course, when there are problems or concerns, we inform the government of India, and we have our channels.
And because I have the presence of acting Consul General, Deputy Consul General with me, so it appears relevant to seek his fresh input in terms of any changes for the passport and visa services, the way they are being offered. And I'm also reminded of Pramitra.
Yes.
So talk to us about that.
I'm very happy to let you know that both passport and visa services are functioning very smoothly, and passport services especially, we are providing the passport with renewing the passports within a week. So anyone who applies probably even by post is likely to get the passports within a week. I mean, that is the assurance which I can give you, unless there is a problem. Visa services are also fast. We are not, we don't have any pendency. Similarly with the OCI cards. So I'm very happy to inform you that the consular services are running very smoothly, and that is reflected in the feedback which we receive from the Indian American community as well. But talking about Pramit has been a revolutionary change, has a revolutionary concept, because what it has done is it has given a window for the public to reach out to us, and we have ensured that anyone who reaches out to us gets a response. So it is kind of a window. If you talk through that window, you will get a response. And so it is a grievance redressal mechanism as well as if someone wants to reach out just to get some information, we are very happy to help you. So I would like to the viewers of ITV, my suggestion is, if you need to reach out to the Consulate General of India, please go to our website indiainnewyork.gov.in and register your query, grievance, information requirement on Pramit, and we will ensure that you get a feedback within the next 24 hours.
Wonderful. So there is a sense of transparency, connectivity, accountability, responsiveness, and all these words are like music to our ears when we need timely response or help. Now, as we move towards the concluding part, once again I want to thank Honorable Deputy Consul General and Acting Consul General Shatrughna Sinha Sahab for joining me here today at ITV studio, and we have recorded this show right after the historic swearing-in ceremony in India. And as we move towards the concluding part, month of June has acquired additional significant day with declaration of 21st June as International Day of Yoga, and that credit also goes to the idea proposed at the United Nations by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Talk to me a little bit about this year's special events that are being planned.
Yes, so this year International Day of Yoga, the 5th International Day of Yoga is being celebrated in New Jersey, in Somerset. I would request your viewers to go to our website and see the details and the programs. We have a day of celebration of yoga lined up in Somerset. We have some motivational speakers, we have some dignitaries with us, as well as some musical extravaganza. But most importantly, it is a day of celebration of yoga. So there will be experts on yoga who will be demonstrating yoga, and we have partnered with number of yoga organizations within New York and New Jersey who are partnering us, and they will also show their own specialities. So it will be a great day of celebration of yoga as well as Indian arts and culture. So please come to Somerset on 23rd of June. 23rd of June is a Sunday, although 21st of June is the International Day of Yoga. We are celebrating it on 23rd of June so that more people can participate. So I would from the Consulate General of India, I would invite everyone to come and celebrate with us the 5th International Day of Yoga.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Sinha Sahab, and allow me to quickly recollect the way Prime Minister Narendra Modi has led the nation, faced different challenges. He has shown, he has demonstrated how a yogi would lead his life while discharging his responsibilities. When I say yogi, one definition that comes to my mind, heard from someone who was Seva Vritti for Vivekananda Kendra, and it is विपरीत परिस्थितियों में मुस्कुराना ही योग है. So to be able to smile in the adverse circumstances is yoga. Yoga, of course, brings a sense of harmony in the way we perceive all that is happening within as well as around us, and with lot of happiness and harmony. I am grateful to Shatrughna Sinha Sahab, whose name also is somewhere related to another leader who has also created a lot of news. But leaving the other Shatrughna Sinha ji aside, once again, I appreciate your presence. Lots of good wishes. Thank you very much. Thanking Acting Consul General, Deputy Consul General Shatrughna Sinha Sahab, and thanking all of you for being with us with lots of good wishes. This is Ashok Vyas.